plastic. They have fake parts, but my heart's elastic. My mental. So
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Kelly, and today I just wanted to, I guess, explain myself a little bit of why I only lasted 1 month with the Disney College program, and I also want to kind of just say my opinion about it. That's all it is an opinion, and that's all it is an opinion. So don't take this too seriously. Like, you could go and have an amazing time, have the time of your life, and have it be the best 5 months of your life. But it was also the worst 1 month of my life. So, well, not the worst, but like, it was bad. I talk with my hands a lot. If you guys are not used to my channel, you're gonna have to get used to it. But yeah, that is what's up, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. So basically, I had planned to do the Disney College program with my best friend Elena, and we both applied, we both got in. It was amazing, and I just want to say nothing happened between the two of us. Nothing happened. We're still best friends and we still talk constantly. So I just want to clear the air and say that right away, because even my parents were like, did something happen? Did you guys have a falling out? No, nothing happened between us. So that's out of the way. We're just, I don't know, we're best friends. We do everything together. So of course we would leave together, because she self-termed as well. But that is her story and she can tell it however she wants. And I am not going to say anything about that, because that's totally personal and that's her. So yeah. But we did go together and we did leave together, which is kind of funny, but that's how we do. So it was going to be our thing, because she's graduated from school and I dropped out. Like, I'm done with it. Like, I don't want to go back anymore. And so we were thinking, like, this is our last, like, hurrah before we go our separate ways, because we did go to college together and get our grown-up jobs. That's kind of what we were thinking. And I'm a hard worker. I'm also going to clear the air about that. I will do this, that, and the third, cover his shift and hers in the morning, and that's just kind of how I roll. I am a Capricorn. Like, I work hard, and so I didn't quit because I didn't like working hard. That also needs to go out the window. But yeah, so we like knew in our minds, like, this is gonna be hard. Elena had already done it before. She did it in 2015. I'm gonna drink some tea, guys, but yeah, she had done it in 2015. She knew what it was all about, and so I had heard a lot of things from her about how it was gonna be, and I thought, you know, that sounds fine. Like, I'm ready, sign me up. So that's why I had applied and got in, and when I got there, it was chill, you know, like, we had moved into an apartment together with 3 other girls, and we all had like different check-in times. So when I got into the apartment, nobody was there, and I saw there was a room with 2 beds and they were already taken. And then I like ran, because I knew that I was gonna be in the 3-person bedroom, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to be in a bunk bed, which is silly, but I mean, it's not really, because I didn't want to deal with that. So I was like running, I'm like, oh my god. And I was the first person in the bedroom that I ended up in, the 3-person bedroom. So I quickly put all my stuff on my bed, and I'm a bitch, but I put some of my stuff on Elena's bed, which was the bottom bunk, because I'm like, I don't want her to be all the way at the top. Like, she's a bad back, like, you know. So we did that. And then we met our roommate, Yuka, who was a sweetheart. Like, we love her. And everything worked out, like, surprisingly well. We got along with all the roommates, which was our number one concern, was that we weren't going to get along with our roommates, because we had, you know, some things in the past. And I feel like everybody has issues with their freshman roommate anyway, so whatever. But they were really nice girls. Shout out. And I don't know, it was a good time in the apartment. And then it got time to do the actual work part. And if you're familiar with the DCP, it goes traditions, well, it goes casting, traditions, operations, and then like job training. But I got the role of being in the Food and Wine Festival, and so my training went on forever. It went on forever because I arrived like 2 or 3 weeks before the festival was to start. So guys, that means 2-3 weeks of training in a classroom and not even working. So that really bummed me out because they did a lot of work on the computers, and that's how most of my days were going. And if I finished early, they gave me more shit to do, just to get my hours, which I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I would have preferred on the job training. Excuse me, I'll get to that cough. And I thought they could have, just put me somewhere, like in outdoor vending for a couple weeks before the festival started, and I'll get to that too. Or, just in one of their food courts or something, just so I get like register trained like really well, and learn how to do the different jobs that they want you to perform in the festival, like how to be a breaker, how to be a cashier, how to do expo. Like I would have liked on the job training because we were doing videos of it. Videos! And I can't pay attention. Like I just can't. So it was just a lot. I found out as an adult that I have dyslexia and dyscalculia. So reading and just like watching videos and stuff like that is not my jam. That's why I don't do well in school or anything like that. And the school setting really does trigger me because I had such a horrible time, especially in like grade school, high school, and even in college, that when I'm in a classroom, I'm just like bugging. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to sit and listen. Like, I just don't want to do any of that because school was always something that was such a struggle. And it's like, I felt like I couldn't succeed in school, and I felt like because I couldn't succeed in school, I couldn't succeed in life, which is like really sad and personal, but that's what it is. So whenever I was in the classroom, I'm just like, I can't do this. Like, and I was trying to make myself like just push through it. I was telling myself in my mind, I'm like, okay, you need to pay attention, even though this is like not making a lot of sense in your mind right now. You need to sit and you need to pay attention and listen. You're 23 years old. You can do this. Like, come on, girl. So I tried to do that, but it just ended up being like too much. So when we finally got to the festival, nobody knew how to do anything. Like, we all showed up, and I was supposed to be at the Canada booth. It said that on my schedule at 8:30 in the morning. I show up like 5 minutes early, as you should, so you can clock in, because they had told us that the iPad would be at the kiosk, and nobody was there. I was bugging. I'm like, I don't know, this is my very first day. Nobody is here. Some lady came over and she's like, oh, my shift starts at 9 a.m., but I'm just here early. And I was like, okay, but that doesn't really help me because I need to clock in right now. And nobody came for 20 whole minutes. So I didn't know how to clock in. They just told me to clock in at my kiosk. I was at my kiosk, and I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. And they finally came over. They're like, what are you doing? Why haven't you clocked in yet? And I had told them, I said, I was supposed to clock in at the kiosk, right? And they're like, yes, where's the iPad? And I was like, there is no iPad. So then they had to go get the iPad and bring it over. And by the time I had clocked in, I was like late. And they told me that it was fine. And nobody changed my time or anything like that. So I ended up getting half a point that day for being late. And then they were yelling at us. They're like, don't just stand around, get to work. And it's like me and like 4 or 5 other people at this point who have never worked there before, so we do not know what to do. So I say, I'm like, okay, what can I do? And they're like, put out cups. And I'm like, first of all, in my head, like, there's so many different cups. There's soup cups, there's wine glasses, there's beer cups, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do by that. and I don't know how many to grab. I don't know where to put them. I don't know where they are located. And that's all they said. And then they like went on their merry little way. They come back and we're struggling and they don't understand. They're like, you know, they're like, you guys, we need to get going. Like, we have to open soon. And it's not our fault that we don't know what to do. Yes, we had all that training, but we had zero training at the actual location. And you can watch as many videos as you want, but you're not going to know where the soup cups are at the specific location. You know what I'm saying? So it was really stressful because they gave us so much training and also zero training at the same time, which I really didn't agree with, because at my old job, I was a trainer and I would never throw people into that not knowing what they're doing, you know, on the first day of a festival that people are traveling from out of town, out of country to come to, and they want excellent service, because we're not going to give them excellent service if the team's not on the same page, you know? So that was a problem that I had with that. And then that day, it was just a bad day. It turned into a good day though somehow, but some girl came over to the booth and she said, oh, I'm switching with you, you're going up to Earth Eats. So I got to go up to Earth Eats, which was way more chill. People were not freaking out. Everything was already set up. The trainers were really nice. Well, not even the trainers, the coordinators, because I think we were done with training at that point. But yeah, the coordinators were really nice. And so shout out to Earth Eats. I love you. I was there for 2 days and it was fine. It was wonderful. But the second day, I was also moved to Earth Eats again, and they didn't tell me I was moved to Earth Eats. So basically what happened was that I clocked in late again, and that's a whole point. That's one point. That's their, like, I guess, discipline system, I guess you could say, is if you were late, you get half a point, and if you get 3 points, I guess you can be late 6 times, you get a reprimand, which means they're gonna like sit you down and talk to you, and you don't want to get reprimands or points, because if you want to stay with the company in the future, it's not happening. So yeah. And then this is really bad. You guys are gonna be like, okay, this is your fault, bitch. It is. I'm not gonna lie, this is my fault and I take full responsibility for this, but I just wasn't feeling this job at all. And then I was notified that I was gonna be switching roles to outdoor vending, Magic Kingdom the next week, just for like personal reasons. I have requested to switch. It was a shot in the dark and I didn't think it would happen, and this like almost never happens, but I got lucky. So I was switching. So my last day at the festival, I just like didn't want to go. I was on my period and we wore those white shorts, guys. We wore those white shorts, and like the bathroom, you're not allowed to use the like bathroom that's for guests. So there's guest bathrooms everywhere, but it's a little difficult to find a restroom that cast members can use because you have to go backstage. So you have to like walk like a long ways to go to the bathroom, and I'm just like, there is no way, like I don't want to be in these white shorts bleeding out for 9 hours, no thank you. So I had called in, and now we're at 2 points, I think. Yeah, and then I was moving to Magic Kingdom the day before my Once Upon a Time Is Now, that's like the name of it. I came down with a fever. I was in my bed. Our room was always cold, but I was shivering. I was like, like cheek chattering. Like it was so bad. So I came down with a fever. Everyone, my roommates were like hanging out in the living room, and they were like laughing and having a good time. And I felt so bad. I'm like, I want to be out there, but I was so sick. Just in my bed with a fever. And then the next day, I like woke up. I was super congested. But I wanted to, you know, make the most out of my time Magic Kingdom, because I knew that people had to pull some strings for me to move from Epcot, and like that never happens. So I wanted to make the most of it, and I really wanted to do my best and not fuck it up. But I woke up, I was feeling so sick. I thought I should call in or something like that, but I didn't. And then I ended up going anyways. So that's what happened. And I remember I was wearing my headphones, and when I took them off to walk into the Mousketeria, the cafeteria, it was the weirdest thing in the world, because I took off the headphones and this lady's talking, like she's like wanting like our training group to come through, and she's like, and I couldn't hear what she was saying. I was just like tripped out. I was like, what the hell? Because I probably have like selective hearing, because I think I can hear well. I just think sometimes when people are talking, I'm not listening, but that's a different point. Like, I saw that she was saying something and I could not hear her. And then my ear just like popped, or like, you know how it does that? Crackled a little bit. And I was like, and then I could hear a little bit more. But I was like, oh shit. And I remember I texted Elena. I was like, I can't hear out of one of my ears. And she was like, oh no, what the hell? So yeah, I go and I sit at the table, and I accidentally sat down with a group of friends. That's another thing. Everyone there was friends, even if they were brand new. Everyone like snatched people like left and right. They're like, okay, you're my friend now. And so even though we were all like new or relatively new, everybody had friends, and I was like not one of them. Like, it was so weird, and it's probably because of my bad attitude, but that's not the point. Like, everybody was friends with each other. It was really cliquish. It was like high school. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. And I'm kind of a loner. I kind of do my own thing. So it didn't bother me like that much, but I was just like, damn, how do they know each other already? It was kind of crazy. I accidentally sat down with a group of girls, and they were like talking, but it was like orientation day, so I'm like, what are the odds that they all know each other and they're like tight? They all knew each other and they were tight. Like, I sat down, and the one girl, she just like look at me like, why are you sitting here? Nobody says anything. So then I can't even hear anything at this point. I'm like, hi, can I sit here? And she's like, yeah. So I sat down, and they're all just like talking. They don't introduce themselves or anything. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. And I'm just like sitting like, like pretending to be involved in the conversation, even though everybody knew I was not involved in the conversation at that point. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And this is what we're doing. And then finally they like took us to a like giant group, and we were all together, and I just kind of like walked in the back. It was awkward. This was the day of the hurricane, mind you, that actually didn't even hit Orlando, but it was supposed to be the day it was like Hurricane Dorian's coming. So we got out early that day, but no hurricane came. It was fine. It was raining, but not more than it normally does rain in Florida, so we were all like wearing our ponchos and shit. And anyways, yeah, so we do a tour of Magic Kingdom. It's kind of fun. I really did like I think they call them facilitators who were doing it. Like, they were nice. One of the ladies was like really smiley. She was like, this is Magic Kingdom. This is the Little Mermaid Ariel ride. It was like nice. I could tell she really liked her job, which is like great to see, because there are some people who already seem burnt out or whatever in my Epcot training, and like the Magic Kingdom people like amped it up. Like, they seem cool and nice, and I think I would have liked working there had circumstances been different. So no shade at Magic Kingdom, not even any shade at Epcot. They were really stressed out, and I could tell. I just think they should have been a little bit more organized, but whatever, neither here nor there. So that's what it is. But my tour was amazing. Like, everybody was really nice. And then we did costuming, and the first costume I tried on fit me, which was insane, because that was not the case at Epcot. And this is just luck, because costuming anywhere in the like parks is insane. It's hard to find shit that fits you, no matter what size you are. If you're too petite, it'll be hard because everything will be big. If you're bigger, everything will be hard because like the like dimensions I feel like is weird. It's like Alice in Wonderland, you know how she goes down and then everything's too big or everything's too small. It's kind of like that, and you can't really find anything that's just right. Because my first costume, I remember I was between short sizes, and both the sizes I tried on were sizes I would never buy in the store because they would be too big for me, but everything's a little bit run small there. So I was between the two sizes, and one of them was like so tight you could see, like, I got it zipped up and buttoned, but that does not mean you should wear it because you could see through everything. You could see freaking every Skittle that I ate last week. Like, it was bad. So we just decided to not wear that. And then the shorts I did get were way too big, and I needed my belt. Sorry. I needed my belt, otherwise it'd be like falling down. And you're required to wear the belt anyways. But here's the problem, is that the belt was too tight. So I was like, even though I was wearing these giant shorts, it still felt too tight. And then my shirt was too big, and that was my fault because I should have grabbed a smaller size. But I was over it at that point. I was not going to go back and get one. So that's the deal with the costume. But yeah, when I went to Magic Kingdom, everything like fit. Everything looked good. And I was just like, whoa, that's my first try. But I probably had some insight because I had to try on all this stuff at Epcot when I had worked there, so I kind of knew how it worked. But yeah, some people were struggling because they weren't used to the sizes being weird, but for me, I'm like, okay, I know what to do, and it was pretty good. So yeah, and then after that, we did have to do, I think, some computer work, maybe. That might have been another day. It's all blending together. But I do remember we went home early, which was really nice. So yeah. And then the next day I was to start training. At this point I had developed a really bad cough. So I was coughing a lot. I still kind of have it. That's why you heard me coughing earlier. But I was like coughing nonstop. It was really, really bad. And I was taking all this cold and flu medicine. I was taking Tylenol. Cold and flu severe is my bitch. Like, that's my OG. If I get a cold or flu, I'll take it immediately and take it like every 4 to 6 hours, and I'll be better by the time I'm done with the pack. That's just, you know, my go-to. I also do like emergency, and sometimes I'll do like a Zicam, or I don't know, Zcam? I don't know how you say that, but they're the little orange like pellet things, and they're supposed to shorten your cold. And usually that does work for me. I just drink a lot of water, a lot of tea, and like I'm good to go. But I could not shake this, you know, no matter what I did. So I went to my training, and I just remember I was trying so hard not to cough the whole entire time because I didn't want to be sent home. Like, the number one thing is don't go to work if you're sick. But this would have been my third point, which means reprimand, which means it just means that I'm going to get in trouble before I even start this job. You know what I'm saying? So I was just really trying to tough it out and go to work. So that's what I did. And I remember being like, because I was trying to suppress a cough and then be like, like, it was so bad. And I was the only person in my training group because there was nobody else doing outdoor vending at this time, like, just coming on. So it was so bad because I was one-on-one with these people, and I'm trying not to cough, and it looks like I'm gonna stroke out. It was bad. And then I had to do more computer work. I was so mad. And then the third day came, and I'm feeling sicker than ever. I feel worse. Usually at this point of a sickness, I will be feeling better, but I was feeling worse. Like, I still can't hear in my ear, and I still can't hear in my ear. And I'm coughing a lot. I'm super congested, but I'm like, I just want to start. Like, you have to reschedule if you're gonna miss a training day, which is like, obviously. So I go in. I have a wonderful trainer. Shout out to her. Her name is Cheyenne, and she did a wonderful job training me. She was very nice, very kind. She knew what she was talking about, and she was the best trainer I had during that time. So, like, nothing wrong with her or my training or even outdoor vending. It seemed okay. Like, it's hard work, but it seemed like it was gonna be okay when she was like explaining everything. And she had told me she had brought us to like the most difficult place to work the first day, the most difficult like outdoor vending location, just so I can get a feel of what it's like when it's like busy or, you know, more strenuous than just like being at a stand that sells ice cream. We went to the one in Main Street that sells everything, and she told me after, she's like, oh, that's the hardest one. And I was like, oh, okay. So I knew it was gonna be fine, but I was just so sick. And at one point I was trying so hard not to cough. I had like literally tears coming down my face. And she's like, what is wrong? Like, do you want to just take some time off? And I was like, yeah. So we went backstage and she's like, do you want to talk about it? Like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm fine, like emotionally, but like I'm just really sick, and I've been sick this week, and I really want to do training because I don't want to have to reschedule. And she's like, oh, okay. And I don't know if she understood. I think she thought I was really having an emotional breakdown, which I wasn't. And my voice is kind of raspy, but the thing is that if people have never met me before, there are people who talk like that all the time, so you don't really know the difference. So yeah, but my girl, she thought I was having an emotional breakdown. Like, she looked so concerned, and I'm like, I'm fine. So then we went back, we did the rest of the night. I'm chugging water, like I am. And I just told her, I'm like, I just need to drink more water, like my throat. And she's like, okay. So she kept asking, she's like, do you need more water? And I'm like, yes, thank you. So we got through that night, and then it's probably like 1 a.m, and the shift's ending at 2. And the leaders came over and they're like, okay guys, we're gonna have a meeting. So we all just like got our tired asses over to the Seven Dwarves or whatever ride, and we're standing right by it, and they're like, okay guys, we're gonna ride it. And I was like, oh my god. So we got to go on a roller coaster at 1 a.m. on my first day, and it would have been a good time had I not been so sick. So that's kind of what was happening. The next day I did call in because I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna have another like crying, tears, coughing moment at work again. So I called in that day because I was just feeling worse and worse. And then I called in the next day as well. And then I figured, okay, so they have this like policy that if you call in days in a row and you're really sick, you can go and get a note. And what everybody was telling me was to go to health services. So health services is by Epcot, so you can go on the Epcot bus. And I was like, okay, perfect, because I don't have money. My insurance is like Midwestern, the Florida. I didn't think it was gonna take it. And like I don't have transportation. I called out all those days. I'm making little money, like I didn't want to take an Uber and, you know, co-pays and all that. So I'm just like, okay, let me go to health services, get a note. I can rest. I can just like, you know, wait out this cold that I thought I had. So that's what I decided to do. So I got on the bus and, you know, I went to health services. I walked in, I'm like, hi. And she's like, some of the like employees, the full-time employees, like didn't treat you that well, I'm gonna say. She looked like, why the fuck are you here? But I'm just like, hi, so my throat's like really bad. I don't know, I was really sick and I'm bad at articulating myself normally anyways, so I'm just like, my throat's really bad, like I just want someone to look at it. Bitch! She should have known I was in the wrong place, but she let me sit there for 45 minutes while I wait to see somebody. They have like nurses there. And so I'm waiting, and then someone's like, Kelly, I'm like, okay, hi. And they do your height, your weight, your blood pressure, like all that shit. And I go through and I talk to her, and she's like, so what seems to be the problem? And I'm like, so I've been sick this week, like I can't hear out of my ear, I'm really congested, my throat hurts, you know, whatever. And she's like typing this up, and she's like, so do you think you got sick like at work? I'm like, I don't really know. And she says, well, this is the place you go for workers problems you get like at work. So I am gonna send you across the street to the Center for like Living Well. And she like asked if I have insurance and all that. And I'm like, well, I have insurance, but I don't have insurance here. Like, I don't know how it works. And she's like, well, I'll just send you over there and, you know, have a good day. Dying over here. And then while I'm heading out, she slides me a piece of paper that says mindful eating, how to like lose weight and like be healthy. I'm like, bitch, I don't need that right now. I don't need that type of comments or anything. Like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, bitch, you come in for a sore throat and an ear infection and doctors always be like, lose weight. But whatever. So I go across the street to the Center of Living Well. And the same thing, they look at me like, why are you here, bitch? And I'm like, hi, so I just really need to see a doctor. Like, I'm really sick. I have a sore throat. I can't hear out of my ear. And they're like, do you have insurance? Like, Disney insurance? Like, for the, like, workers? And I said, no, I don't. And they say, this is not a walk-in clinic. You're going to have to go to Centricare. And I was literally starting crying. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Because in my head, I'm just like, I just need my note so I can get out of work for a couple of days, feel better, get some medicine, you know, be feeling better, whatever. And I literally start crying. I'm like, okay, all right. Like, the tears are not falling, but they're about to, you know that feeling. And I'm just like, oh my God, I need to go. Like, this is so bad. And then the one lady, she was helpful, to be honest. Like, the other people were not so helpful, but she like jumped in from what the other lady was saying, and she's like, she was, you know, telling me about Centricare and how I could like go in, it's walk-in, like they'll take my insurance, it'll be fine, and I can get a note from them. And she's trying to comfort me, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, do you know where it is? I'm like, yes, because I just want to leave, and she knows that I was lying, but so she explains where it is. I'm like, okay. And then I just like run out of there, and I start crying. I'm like bawling, and I'm walking out of the like parking lot, and someone's in a car. You're supposed to stop for pedestrians. Pedestrians always have the right of way, bitch. I learned that when I was 16 doing my driver's ed, and honestly it's common sense, but whatever. And this person, like, they stop their car, I'm like walking by, like whatever, and then they decide to be an asshole and push on the gas, like they're gonna hit me, and I'm just like, bitch, like I literally did that. I'm like, and they're just like, eh. I'm like, oh my God. So I just keep walking, have my headphones on, I'm just like, whatever. And then I decide to call my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I don't know what to do, I'm so sick. And she's like, okay, well, you should just go to urgent care, like, we will pay for it, like, whatever. And I'm like, okay. But it was already gonna be like a 2-3 hour day just trying to go to health services, because the bus is an hour back. What else? Like, I had to wait there for 45 minutes. I had to go across the street. I was over it. I am sick. I am not feeling well. And I don't want to do a whole thing. Like, I don't want to have to Uber to urgent care and do all that. And I just felt like Disney, like, they had told you, like, you can go to health services, like, and I went there and they turned me away. And then I went across the street and they turned me away. And I felt like CPs are not treated that well in the program at all. Like, you're the bottom of the barrel. They look at you differently. Like, and I just felt really disrespected. And so I already knew I wanted to go home when I was on the phone. Like, I didn't love my job. I wasn't making any money. They had told me that I could do, when I was at the Center for Living Well, they told me that I could do a consultation on my phone, like one of those like telemedicine kind of things, and it would only cost me $45. And that's when I really started crying, because I'm like, I don't have $45. Like, I was really not making any money. I'm not going out all the time. I'm literally just sitting at my apartment or at the pool when I'm not working, and I was just like, I have no money. So I kind of like explained that, And she's like, well, I'll call you tonight. And then by the night, I had already decided I don't want to be there anymore. Being sick influenced it, and not liking my job influenced it the most. And those are things that Disney really has no part in, to be honest. So that's why this isn't really an exposing video. Like, there were parts of the program that I really just didn't like. Well, I really didn't like anything. I didn't like the classroom learning. I didn't like how we were treated. The fuck. When I was in costuming for the, like, Epcot costume, I had asked for help because I couldn't find my size of shorts. And I asked someone, like, I saw one that was, like, above, like, but I couldn't reach it. So I had asked, I said, hey, there's a lady who worked at costuming, and I'm sure she had either a ladder or she had one of those things to, like, grab stuff and get it, because nobody's 10 feet tall, and obviously those had to get up there somehow. So I'm like, hey, I can't find my size of shorts down here, but I see it up there. Can you get it for me? And she's like, are you sure? Are you sure you need them? She literally said that. And I'm like, yeah, that's my size. And she's like, okay. And then she's like, how many do you need? And I said, I need 5 because they told us to get 5 of her costumes. And she's like, why do you need so many? Like I felt like I was in trouble for asking for help. And that's why I didn't really like it. And why I say they didn't treat us the best. Like, because they didn't treat us the best, you know? And I'm not asking for any type of special treatment at all. That's not my thing. I just want someone to be courteous, which is one of the 4 keys that we went over 8 million times, you know what I'm saying? So it was just really, really bad. Like, I had a bad experience, and I ultimately decided when I was sick that I needed to go home. So that's kind of what happened. And then I just called out the rest of the week because I had to take a flight home in the middle of the week. So I called out like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And on Tuesday I did, and no, I think I left on Tuesday. I think on Monday I went to urgent care, Central Care, and they treated me wonderful. Like, not gonna lie, they were really nice, except for this one guy, but whatever. They were all really nice. The lady at the desk were really nice. The person, I think PA, physician assistant, who I saw, was really nice. And they told me I have an ear infection, like, duh. But they said that it's like I had complications with it, which is why I can't hear anything, and which is why my throat is like this, is because it, like, spread. So if you have a middle ear infection and it's not treated, it can spread to your throat because it's connected. So that's basically what happened to me. That's why I was coughing so much, and that is why cough medicine wasn't really working, is because it wasn't really a cold or flu situation. It was like an ear situation, so you have to treat the ear and the throat. Should feel better soon. But I've been on antibiotics for like 4 or 5 days now, and I'm not really I'm feeling a little bit better because I would not be standing here talking to you last week. I'm feeling better, I think, in terms of, like, energy levels. I'm coughing a lot less. My ear feels just as bad as it did, though, which kind of sucks. But yeah, so that's what's up, guys. Like, that is why I quit Disney. This is a long ass video too, but I just didn't like it, and it's not that deep. I got sick and I didn't like it. But now I am waiting to find a job here. I want to feel better, and I want to make sure I'm, like, good to go before I work, because I don't want to miss days. Like, I don't want to be standing there coughing and like, not able to hear properly. Like, I just want to make sure everything's, like, good to go. And then I sold my car to go to Disney, so I'm really upset I don't have a car. And clearly I'm at my parents' house, and they're, like, happy to have me back, but, like, it's, like, a weird thing where now my job is to be their live-in maid, and I have to do a lot of shit for them. It's not that much, I'm being a baby, but I have chores, which is like, okay, whatever, you live here. I have to pay rent, so it's just like, you know, like, it's not the perfect situation. and I'm really hoping to move out soon and get a car soon. Well, flip that, get a car and then move out. You gotta get a job first and be working, so it's gonna be a process this fall, and then hopefully winter I'll be thriving. But yeah, guys, that's the story. I'm sorry if you wanted to see Disney videos from me because you're just not at this point, but that's what happened, and it sorry, I wanted you guys to hear from me first. Yeah, what happened? So that's what happened. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. If you guys have any similar experiences, let me know. And if you're thinking about doing this, don't let me like discourage you, because it is a good opportunity, but I feel like it's a good opportunity. One, if you're younger, I felt a little too old. Two, if you have a good role, to be honest. And like 3, if you have a car and you can drive everywhere, because the bus was a situation. Everywhere takes 2 hours to go to, even though it's only like 5-10 minutes away, and you can't even walk because of like the highway there. So it just sucked. So make sure you set yourself up for success, and I feel like you will be successful. But yeah, you need a car, you need money, you need a lot of money saved up, because you're not going to be making anything. And make sure it's a good time in your life, like you're like a freshman or a sophomore. Yeah, that's my advice, guys. And don't get sick, because if you get sick, it ruins everything. So yes, guys, well, I'll see you in my next video. One thing I'm going to do is try and make more consistent YouTube videos, because I miss talking to you guys and I miss making videos, and now I have time, so I want to really take advantage of that. So yes, but I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.